Greetings and Happy New Year. So last night, on the night of January 1st, Vocab Malone had a show titled Wild Hebrew Israelism Review for 2023. And as the title implies, it was a year in review for significant trends and events within the diverse Israelite spectrum over the last year. And the show ran for about 2.5 hours with a few different guests coming on, such as Dee New, Alton Johnson, and Jim Green. And just before the show went live, I texted Vocab and I expressed an interest in calling in for just 15 minutes to contribute a trend from 2023 that stood out for me personally. And he let me on, and I wound up being on for about half an hour, but a few minutes were unfortunately lost due to technical difficulties. But nonetheless, I wanted to show the portion during which I called in as I discussed the interesting phenomenon of Dr. Michael Brown not yet having a debate opponent for the topic of Lashawan Quadash. So we'll pick up the show at the 14-minute, 26-second mark, and this excerpt will run for about 24 minutes. Enjoy the discussion, and of course, feel free to share any comments, questions, criticisms, or objections. And God bless.
Okay, wait, Abu. Oh, okay, Abu's still there. All right, Abu, let's hear from you as well. I think I'm bringing you out of the green room, hopefully here. And
yep. Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Abu, so let's start off. I know you might even want to show some pictures. I don't know if you have ones without pictures too. That's fine as well. But talk to us what you saw in 2023 of things that you think are most notable within Hebrew Israelism. And you're a longtime observer, longer than any one of us, going back to, well, I don't even know if you want to say the year, but going back to for a while.
Oh, long time, yeah. I mean, I would, even though I've been sort of peripherally aware of One Westers since the 90s, I would say I've been attempting to dialogue with them since 2005. So that's what, 17, 18 years now. Yeah, it's crazy. But
it is crazy, bro.
And it's funny. So the thing I'm going to mention for 2023 that I'd like to mention sort of is interesting against the backdrop of that history. And what I would touch on is what stands out for me, a trend that really stands out for me in 2023 has been the dearth or the absence of debate opponents for Michael Brown. You may recall that right before the start of 2023, Michael Brown put out that challenge for One Westers to debate him on a variety of topics. He put out there the tribes chart, Lashawan Quadash, and stuff like that. And, at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of talk about, Brown's challenge to debate Hebrew Israelites. And then in the summer, thanks to you, the work that you put in, we got treated to a debate between Dr. Brown and Al-Azhar. And, shout out to Al-Azhar for stepping up. I appreciate what he did, so much respect to him. But aside from Al-Azhar, there's been nothing else. No one else seems to be chomping at the bit to get at Brown, and that's interesting. And more specifically,
because real quick, Abu, one thing, if most people who watch this channel know who Michael Brown is, but check this out. I just want to show how really he's like the perfect target. If you're a Hebrew Israelite and there's somebody you want to go after, he checks all the boxes. You know what I'm saying? Ashkenazi, and therefore, a whitish, Europeanish looking Jewish man and his ethnic background. They claim
to be an Amalekite and a Khazar and all that.
Yep,
and get a Christian apologist. Do you want to go after Christian apologists or Ashkenazi Jews? You can get them at the same time.
A Christian, an evangelical classic Orthodox with small O Christian, and somebody who's an apologist. He's an apologist, just like you just said. I'm showing you every single thing that they hate. He is. Right? And he speaks Hebrew. These Christians don't know the Old Testament. So I just want to point out, everyone.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because that brings us exactly to something which really stands out for me. Brown has expressed an interest in debating them on Lashawan Quadash.
Yep.
And to my knowledge, no one of significance, none of the significant proponents of Lashawan Quadash have stepped up to debate Brown on that topic. And me personally, I'd love to see Dr. Brown debate one of the popular proponents of Lashawan Quadash. So, I'd like to throw out some popular names. Do you have that image I sent you?
Yeah, I do. First, I want to ask Jim and Alton, did you guys see the debate between Al-Azhar and Michael Brown?
Oh, yeah, I was
yes,
right
sir.
Because if we're
I was anticipated that.
Me too, because as we go along our list, I actually will put that upon the top things that happened within Hebrew Israelism in 2023. You know what I'm saying? That debate, just you think about that debate, that's like a really important monumental, significant debate, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that they both did it. Now, Abu, though, you're going to talk about stuff that didn't happen. So give me a second. I'll pull up.
That's what I said. I extend. I've always had respect for Al-Azhar, and I extend my respect to Al-Azhar for debating Brown. But what about the people who have not debated?
Okay, so I'm putting on the screen right now, Abu. There we go.
Let's see. There it is. Thank you. Right. So here's the question: who's willing to debate Michael Brown on Lashawan Quadash? And I don't know how this looks on. Let me see. I'm going to check my feed. Is there any way you can make it a tiny bit smaller? Because the names are cut off. If not, it's okay.
Yeah.
But whatever the case.
No, I can. Just give me a second. I'll change.
In the meantime, here's 3 names that I think these are the perfect. And I'm going to do it from left to right. Right. One of these gentlemen should debate Michael Brown on Lashawan Quadash. He wants to debate Lashawan Quadash, and these are 3 popular proponents of the system. 2 of them are one-Westers. The middle one isn't. So let's start with the gentleman on the left, right? Let's consider the first example. Kharab, right? Or they say Karab. But Kharab, right? This is a man who actually taught Lashawan Quadash at One West itself, right? At the first school in Harlem, at 125th Street. He was one of the Hebrew teachers there. If I'm not mistaken, he was their second Hebrew teacher after the gentleman he replaced. I forget that gentleman's name. But nonetheless, that man is he's a former teacher of Lashawan Quadash at One West. He's also the man who came up with the popular declaration, Kwam Yasharallah. You hear all these one-Westers yelling that, Kwam Yasharallah! This guy is the man who coined that. He came up with that, right? So he seems like the perfect proponent of Lashawan Quadash to step up and debate Michael Brown on that topic, right? But I heard that the idea of such a debate was floated, just preliminarily. Not it wasn't Brown himself who reached out, but another person who has a channel that puts on debates, sort of trying to do some of the preliminary work. The idea was floated to Danya Allah because he's sort of like the contact for Kharab, right? And from what I heard, Danya Allah turned it down on Kharab's behalf on the grounds that Kharab is too old. Now, if that's true, that's an incredible reason to turn it down because Brown himself is a senior citizen, right? He's like pushing 70. He's like 68 or 69 or something like that. So saying, Kharab's too old, I mean, Brown is just as old, maybe older, right? Now, to be fair...
maybe Danya Allah is also worried about Brown's age, and so he's also turning it down on Brown's behalf. He's worried that Brown is too old. We need to be charitable, right?
True. You're right. Got to remember to be charitable. Now, to be fair, what I just mentioned, that's not Kharab turning the debate down, right? Rather, it's someone else turning the debate down on his behalf. But the question is why, right? And perhaps... with this now being discussed publicly on your channel, and you have a very popular channel, perhaps someone can, who sees this show can reach out to Kharab, right? People who know Kharab should ask Kharab himself if he's willing to debate Michael Brown on the topic of Lashawan Quadash, right?
You want to make any 2023 predictions, Abu?
Yeah, I'm going to predict it's not going to happen. I'm predicting that none of these men will debate Brown, but I think they're each one is the perfect choice. So then the second person is Kelly Richardson, the good doctor, Dr. Kelly Richardson, and I apologize for not saying his title up front. The good doctor actually wrote on Facebook, on his Facebook page, back in December of 2022, when the talk of, right before the start of 2023, when the talk of Brown debating somebody first came up, Kelly was on his Facebook page saying that, if Brown wants to debate him, he knows how to find him, right? That's honestly, that's a bit.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I remember you sent me that. Yep.
So that's a bit of a strange thing to say, considering that he's saying it in like his social media accounts are basically heavily censored echo chambers, right? So he's practically saying it from behind the block wall. And let's be honest, Kelly has most of the people who might attempt to set up the preliminaries of that debate. He has them blocked, right? He has me blocked. He has you blocked. He has Garfield blocked, probably. Who can?
Jim, are you blocked by Kelly Richardson yet?
Say it again.
Jim, are you blocked by Kelly Richardson yet? Do you know? Oh, you've muted yourself. Let me ask
Jim's
Alton, is Kelly Richardson blocked you?
I'm not sure. I don't think I've been to any of his social media pages, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think I've ever commented on anything that he's
Alton's not invited to the block party. You would think you would be invited to the block party considering you're both in Atlanta, but hey, I guess you're not invited to the block party.
Wait. Hold on. I thought that he was in Virginia.
Oh, my bad. I don't know why I said. Oh, I was thinking of his cousin. Sorry, I was thinking of William Brown, Richard Katz.
Okay. Well, now Richard Katz is here. Richard Katz is here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
I don't think that I don't think that Kelly Richardson is.
Yeah, my bad. Okay, Jim, what about you?
I'm not aware if I am, but I honestly I wouldn't be surprised if it's true.
Well, I
Be
got to
honest
tell
with
you guys, I think both of you, I don't know what your New Year's resolutions are yet, but I honestly want to recommend to you, you both need to work on a New Year's resolution to be blocked by Kelly Richardson by the end of the year.
Yes.
Hey man, listen, I'm trying not to get sued. All right, so I've been on a really good streak of not being sued. So, I mean, he's lawyered up. He got the paperwork. He got the scholars behind him. I'm really trying to. This year, I said I'm really not going to try to get into any trouble. All right.
Okay, that's okay.
That's funny.
All right.
But we'll say this: if Kelly has everybody blocked, right? At least it can be asked publicly now on your show, right? The question should be publicly asked now. Might, if not Harab, how about the second choice? Might Kelly Richardson be willing to debate Dr. Brown on the topic of Lashawan Quadash, right? Dr. Kelly is a proponent of the system, and he claims it can be demonstrated. He claims he has all the evidence in his favor, so he should state publicly whether he's willing to debate Dr. Brown on the topic, and perhaps someone can, then reach out to him. But, I'm not confident.
Also that seems very...
Go ahead.
That seems very fair, considering that they both are holding doctorates. You have Dr. Richardson versus Dr. Brown. That seems very fair, evenly matched. You know what I mean?
Point.
Yeah. What were you about to say,
But
Alden?
I got a question though. Now I didn't know, and I mean, maybe this is something that probably just went over my head, but I didn't know that Kelly Richardson was a proponent of Lashawan Quadash.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's even some of his recent posts, he's still arguing for it, and and it's interesting. It's interesting
because
but
you
he
would
clearly
think
has just sort of lifted it from other people. Like he's lifted a lot of the sources he references from that Judah Speaks account. Humorously, when you see him put up Lashawan Quadash in his teachings and his slides, he uses the diacritics which were established at One West. Like he'll swear that I didn't get this from One West, but the thing is, he's using their diacritics without even knowing the origin.
Yeah, actually, now that you mentioned that, I do remember you doing a video on that. I do remember you mentioning that he was saying that he didn't get it from the camps, but somehow he has the same talking points as them. So
Yeah, even their diacritics. But
the diacritics are clearly from them. So it's like there's no way you can act like you made it up yourself and stuff like that.
You can even see the diacritics. If you raise the image a little bit, I put it under Johanna's name, his Paleo Hebrew name, his Phoenician script name. Raise the image there, so you can see the little smiles and frowns as they were. You can't see it now because it's cut off, but whatever the case, now let's turn to Johanna. Here's a third possibility, right? Johanna is the leader of the new ISUPK. He claims it's still the original ISUPK, right? And he's literally complained that others are scared to discuss Lashawan Quadash. Scared, quote unquote scared. That's an exact term that he's used. By the way, I sent you a link. Would you be willing to play that little 9-second clip where he says that? If not, it's cool.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, but I don't have it up. So maybe.
Okay, no problem. I mean, I could. People can contact me on social media. And by the way, there's the little diacritics. See the frowns and smiles under Johanna's name. That's the diacritics developed at One West, and Kelly Richardson uses that. But whatever the case, sticking to Johanna, he's literally said that people are scared to debate Lashawan Quadash, and he said that about even other One West Israelites. Right? He's accused them of being scared. So since he's the leader of a large One West group, since he claims to be, quote unquote, second only to Christ, that's the term he uses to describe himself. And more recently, it's come out that he basically, well, first off, he's long claimed to be the true leader of the whole One West spectrum. And it's recently come out that he's insinuated that he's like the de facto pope of One West, as he claims basically to sit on the chair of Peter. Have you seen that? Those clips going around?
Oh, yeah.
So like Peter's the leader of the church, and now Johanna sits in Peter's seat.
Yep.
Yeah, from Sonetta, he managed to get him to.
So with all that in mind, right,
was that this year? By the way, was that all?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm putting that on the list. Hold on.
Yeah, that's
Johanna
recently, actually.
Declares himself
second pope of One West, because who the first pope of One West was? Not that Johanna recognized him, but Tazadakia. Someone told me that.
I was just about to say, comfy.
Yes, at the ICGJC, that someone told me that at the ICGJC, they never came out with this public. I heard about this from a former member. That was being thrown around, that when they get the spiritual powers, when Christ comes back, basically they're going to go sack Rome, and Tazadakia was supposed to sit on the chair of Peter at the Vatican. He was going to take it over. They were going to reinstate what they called the Black Papacy. Yeah, he literally fantasized about being Pope.
Jeez,
You know,
dude,
not merely
man.
the leader of the world, but the literally the Pope in Rome at the Vatican. They were going to call him Papa Tazadakia.
That needs to be a new parody. I love it when you call me Rome Papa.
But now, unfortunately, he's no longer with us. So now there's Pope Johanna, right? And with all that in mind, I would propose that Johanna would be a good person to debate Dr. Brown on Lashawan Quadash. Now, to be fair, I'm not aware of anyone previously trying to reach out to Johanna. But since he accuses others of being scared to discuss the topic, and he presents himself as the current leader of the One West Spectrum, then if all that's true, the question should be publicly posed to him as well now. Going by his self-descriptions, he would seem to be the perfect person to debate Lashawan Quadash with Dr. Brown. So that's the question. For Johanna and for his followers in ISUPK, that's the question. Is Johanna willing to debate Michael Brown on Lashawan Quadash?
That's a good
Now,
one.
what about Captain Tazariak? Do you think that he would do that?
I don't know. I heard, what's his name? Who's their Hebrew teacher? Chataza might be willing. But, I mean, why not the leader of the group? Why not the leader? Why not the man who's been in it the longest, who remembers when they were teaching 4 scripts,
Yeah.
Who learned directly from Ariyah? Why not him? Especially since Johanna specifically accused others of being scared. But, here's another question. What if the 3
Hold
men...
on. I do have the video. Just give me a
let's
second.
Play this real quick.
Yeah. Just give me a second, though.
It's only 9 seconds long.
Yeah, it's gonna get. I gotta switch over to this real quick here. I'm gonna play this video. All right, here we go.
Why are you running from the Hebrew? You let them on the internet scare you from the Lashawan Quadash. They say Lashawan Quadash. That ain't right. That ain't right.
I gotta play that again. Everything about this is funny. And by the way, I know some people said there's buffering and some stuff. Yeah, I have sometimes there's problems when I have more than one guest on, but I'm working it. Just give a second. We'll get it all worked out
in about 5-10 minutes. So
we don't. I'm not trying to kick you off, but I'm just saying. All right, let's play this again. Here.
Why are you running from the Hebrew? You let them on the internet scare you from the Lashawan Quadash. They say Lashawan Quadash. That ain't right. That ain't right.
Okay, so I mean, it does seem like he should be willing to debate it, right?
Exactly. So think about how he describes himself. Basically, he's insinuating that unlike other people, he's not scared to discuss Lashawan Quadash. And then on top of that, he claims to be, this is an exact quote, second only to Christ, right? He's the true leader of One West. He's the one carrying the torch from the 7 heads. He claims that. And he's recently been shown to insinuate that he's the Pope. He sits on the chair of Peter. So, I mean, come on. And he's not scared to discuss Lashawan Quadash. That's the perfect person to debate Michael Brown. So I just wanted to put that question out there publicly. Would Johanna, wouldn't that be a great debate? Johanna versus Michael Brown on Lashawan Quadash or Harab, and I guess my third choice would be Kelly if we can't get Harab or Johanna.
What about if they said they don't want to debate Brown? Would you debate one of them?
I mean, why? It's Brown putting out the debate. Let's go scholar to scholar. They all claim I'm an idiot. So, you want to debate stupid Abu Dudu, as they call me, debate Brown. He's the one who put out the challenge. But let's ask this question, because you sort of touched on it. What if all these men remain silent, or, don't want to discuss it, or what if they turn it down, or just, like I said, just don't never take up the call? And what if they're, sitting somewhere hoping that some other lesser light takes up the task, right? Well, some younger man in their group, right? So they could just say, oh, if he doesn't do well, they'd be like, oh, well, that's just him. That's Buddy didn't do well. But I would treat that as part of the paradigm shift that I alluded to at the beginning, right? And this is a paradigm shift that's happened amongst proponents of Lashawan Quadash. As I said earlier, 15 or more years ago, One Westers used to want to pick arguments with people about Lashawan Quadash, right? Groups like the ICGJC and GMS were declaring an openness to debate anyone, a willingness, like an anxiousness that we'll debate anyone. No one can shut us down. That's what they used to say. But after some indirect discussions over the years, you recall this, Tahar, for example, when you got involved, Tahar reached the point where, with all due respect to him, he was reduced to saying that Lashawan Quadash is merely a thing of faith. But what about these other men? That
Yeah,
just
when
mentioned?
remember when we went out to New York and we were literally right there with him, and he said,
Yeah.
"Well, I don't speak Hebrew."
Yeah,
Right.
he said, I'm not a speaker of Hebrew, but
I
and that's
remember
fine. But there's no shame in that. But the thing is, it's in a vacuum. There's no shame in that. But against the backdrop of them constantly, previously putting out these challenges, and we're willing to debate anyone, and no one can shut us down. And now a lot of them have faded away. But let's put Tahar aside. God bless Tahar. He's an older gentleman, right? What about these other men? Or do they also, the Kelly and Harab and Yohana, do they also say it's merely a thing of faith like Tahar does, right? Do they also want to cede that ground when there's someone serious who's interested in debating them on the topic? And if so, like I said, that would represent a tremendous paradigm shift in the confidence of one Westers or in proponents, because Kelly's not a one Wester, for the most part. He adopted their language system, but otherwise he's outside of one West. But nonetheless, it would seem tempting to interpret silence or rejection of the debate offers. It would be tempting to interpret that as a recognition of the problems that's within their system. A lack of confidence. I don't know. But that's it. I'm going to jump off in a moment.
Well, hold on, Abu. Before you jump off.
Hang on, yeah.
Let's see if we got all the items we've talked about so far, because I think I might have missed one. The KC brawl. Yohana declares himself Pope on Sonetta. Guerrilla Hebrew versus Michael Brown debate.
Shout out to Al-Azhar. That was great.
No one will debate Lashawan Quadash. Those are four. Was there a fifth thing we talked about? I thought there was something else I missed.
No, I think I covered it so far.
Is that what we've hit so far, Jim? Alton, you remember another one? Okay.
As far as events or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the ones we talked about so far. Abu's going to go, and then we'll discuss more. Abu, thank you for coming by and breaking
Thanks for
all
having
down.
me on. I'm sorry if I was a little animated there. I was trying to rush through it. I appreciate it.
No,
you gentlemen will have a great conversation.
Hey, I appreciate
One more thing.
The commentary, Abu, just so you know, bro. Appreciate what you put out, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
So much.
I forgot to show.
Just for the reference. Yeah, this is Kelly just before the start of 2023. This is from his Facebook page. And so you see someone wrote to Kelly that says, Dr. Michael Brown wants the smoke, Dr. Kelly Richardson, right? And Kelly says, I'm going to review the video. And then the person is towards the bottom. He says, thank you, Doc. And then Kelly Richardson writes, if Brown was really serious about this request, he'll reach out. He's very aware of who's who among our community. That's like saying that Brown knows who I am. That's what he's saying, Now, I honestly, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to the good doctor, but I don't think Brown has any idea who he is,
I can tell you from talking to Michael Brown, he does not know who Kelly is. He does not know he is unaware of Kelly Richardson's existence. But this is a hilarious. Wait a minute. Who's Rabbi Dr. Yosef Benjamin Hernandez? Because he says he wants to debate me. I didn't see that. I don't remember seeing this. Does anyone know who that is?
I don't know. You might have to see if I can send you a link. I'm not familiar with that gentleman.
Rabbi,
there's a million unknown people who are willing to do it. I was curious about the people with popular channels, the people who are popular. Now Kelly should be described as popular, in that regard. I think the first choice should be Yohana, then Harab, and then Kelly's the third choice. Because I'm sorry to say that if Kelly, not that I ever expect Kelly to debate Brown, but if he did and he did poorly, all the One Westers would just wave him off. They'd be like, "Oh, that guy, who's that guy? He was never part of One West. He never learned from the school. So they wave him off as insignificant." So
yeah,
Harab is the most significant because he literally taught Hebrew at One West.
I mean, he's the one who's got a patent pending for Kwam Yasharallah,
Exactly. He coined the phrase Kwam Yasharallah. Yeah, exactly.
Wait. Who has a patent on that? General Yohana?
No, that was a joke. I'm making a joke. What I'm saying is that how do you say his name again?
Harab. I think it should be Harab because it's supposed to be longer, but yeah, Harab as they call him.
Harab. Harab's an older gentleman who's considered the expert of Lashawan Quadash, and he's supposed to be known as the one who I guess he coined the phrase Kwam Yasharallah.
He came up with that. Yep. Yeah, which is so famous amongst One Westers. A lot of young One Westers screamed that without knowing where it came from. It came from Harab, a man who taught Lashawan Quadash at One West. Sorry, forgive me.
Every time they say it, they got to pay him 5 cents.
Oh, he'd be a millionaire if they did that.
Royalty. They got to pay them royalties, huh?
Well, they got to pay him original royalty. If you guys know. Okay, Abu, thank you very much. I appreciate
Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. God bless.
And your receipts. Okay, so we've got a couple super chats I need to get to. If you guys just give me a second here, I'm gonna throw these on the screen. Thank you very much, Abu. All right, I'm going.